Hello, recappers. Today's movie starts with a woman named Cher. She quietly approaches the site of a road accident where a young girl named Mia has just died. From Mia's pocket, Cher takes out a ring engraved with a cross. Without saying a word, she slips away with it. Moments later, a private investigator named Honey arrives at the accident site. Detective Marty, who is already working on the case, asks her if Mia was her client. Honey replies, no. Marty then tries to flirt with her, but Honey shuts him down by saying, I like girls. After that, Honey heads back to her office. There, a man named Mr. Seyfried comes to meet her. He suspects that his boyfriend is cheating on him and wants Honey to find out if this is true, and if so, with whom. Later, Honey goes to meet her older sister, Heidi. Heidi has so many kids that it's hard to even count them. One of them, Karen, drives away with her good-for-nothing boyfriend. The story then shifts to Reverend Drew, a pastor at a church whose deeds are far from holy. At that moment, his assistant Shuggy comes running and tells him that one of their men, Little Joe, has died. Reverend Drew coldly replies, if he's already dead, why did you interrupt me? When Drew steps outside, he sees foam spilling from Joe's mouth. Joe had died after consuming one of Drew's products. Drew dismisses it as nothing more than God's punishment. Meanwhile, Honey visits a bar where Mia used to work. She questions the people there about Mia, but all she learns is that Mia had only been working there for about a week. Back with Drew, he goes to meet Cher. Cher tells him that people are unhappy about Mia's death, and that now, because of it, the police will be after them. Drew insists that Mia didn't die because of them. She died in an accident. Cher then hands him the very ring from his church that she took earlier. Drew, relieved, thanks her, because now the police won't come after them. After that, Honey goes to Detective Marty and asks for Mia's home address. Marty tells her that Officer M.G. Filoni has it. So Honey approaches Filoni and gets the address. The scene shifts to a bar where a man named Colligan is sitting. A young guy named Hector, who works for Drew, comes to meet him. Hector demands money from Colligan for the previous order as well as the current one, but Colligan has no money. Instead, he offers Hector some other kind of service. Hector doesn't like this at all and punches him. In fear and chaos, Hector accidentally runs over Colligan with his car. The bartender witnesses everything. The next day, Honey visits Mia's parents. She tells them that just one day before her death, Mia had called her. But Mia's parents can't understand why their daughter would contact a private investigator. While in Mia's room, Honey notices several self-help books. Under Mia's bed, she finds a dress belonging to Drew's church, along with another smaller dress. The story then cuts to Drew's church. He stands before the congregation giving a speech that makes no real sense. He rambles whatever comes to his mind, yet the people treat his words like divine wisdom. Drew tells them there are 4 ways to serve the Lord: action, duty, passion, and submission. And in order to serve the Lord, he declares, they must first serve his minister, Drew himself. After the speech, Drew learns about Hector's mess from the night before. He orders Shuggy to go and take Hector out. At Hector's house, he lives with his grandmother. As Hector steps back inside, carrying the dried laundry, he is horrified to see his grandmother lying dead on the floor. Shuggy suddenly attacks him too. Hector narrowly escapes and fights back. He stabs Shuggy with both a fork and a knife, but Shuggy manages to shoot Hector. As Shuggy bends down to pick up his broken teeth, Hector strikes from behind and kills him. Meanwhile, Mr. Seyfried breaks down in front of Honey, as the now-dead Colligan was actually his boyfriend. After that, Honey visits Officer Filoni once again. The two end up spending the night together, but the next morning, Honey's niece Karen shows up to see her. She reveals that her boyfriend hit her, but she doesn't want her mother to know. Honey agrees not to tell her mom on one condition: Karen must never go back to that boy again. All of this is overheard by Filoni. The scene then shifts to Trey, who is hanging out with 2 girls. Suddenly, Hector storms in with a gun. Distracted by the girls, he hesitates before pulling the trigger. He fires blindly with his eyes closed. Taking advantage of the chaos, Drew sneaks up from behind and kills Hector with ease. The focus now turns to Karen. While working at the restaurant, she notices an old man staring at her. His gaze makes her extremely uncomfortable. Elsewhere, Drew hears that private investigator Honey wants to meet him. At first, he refuses, but the moment he learns that she's beautiful, he agrees. When Honey arrives, she questions him about Mia, but instead of answering, Drew begins to flirt with her. Honey already knows what he's been doing with the girls at his church. Drew insists, "My work is spiritual. It involves the whole person. I have a calling. I help people." He even offers to help Honey, but she refuses to fall for his act. That night, she spends her time instead with Officer Faloni. In their conversation, Faloni opens up about her past. Her father used to beat her. He had been a decorated war hero in the military, but he was killed in battle. Later that night, as Karen leaves her workplace, the same old man blocks her path. He looks straight at her and says, "I love you." Terrified, Karen runs away. The next morning, Honey receives a call from Heidi, who tells her that Karen never came home the previous night. Honey assumes she must have gone back to her boyfriend. She immediately rushes to confront him, but Karen isn't there. Honey beats the boy during interrogation, demanding answers, but he insists he hasn't seen Karen in 2 days. Soon after, that same old man appears outside Honey's home. He too says to her, "I love you." And the shocking truth comes out. He's none other than Honey and Heidi's father, a man who used to abuse both them and their mother. He claims that back then he wasn't ready to be a father or a husband, but now he is. He had even approached Karen, presenting himself as her grandfather. Honey asks him when he last saw Karen. That's when she realizes Karen must have mistaken him for just another creepy old man. Troubled, Honey wonders where Karen might have run off to. She questions people in the area, but no one knows anything. Exhausted, she sits at a bus stop. A bus pulls up, and on its side is a giant advertisement for Drew's church from Detective Marty. Soon after, Honey learns about Mia's forensic report. It reveals that Mia did not die in the accident. She had been stabbed beforehand, and everything else was staged to look like a road accident. This revelation sparks a thought in Honey's mind. Maybe Mia had been lost and confused, just like Karen had been the night before. And if Karen had seen that church advertisement, perhaps she too had been drawn straight to Drew's church. The scene now shifts to Cher and Drew. Drew asks her, "Why did you agree to do all this?" Cher answers, "I thought I'd let you do it one last time." The truth was, Drew's higher-ups were no longer happy with him. And then, without hesitation, Cher pulls out a gun and shoots Drew to death. From outside, Honey hears the gunshots. She even sees Cher riding away on her scooter. Honey rushes back to Detective Marty and tells him what she heard. But Marty brushes it off, saying it could have been just another sound. Honey urges him to raid the church, telling him that if he manages to catch what's going on there, it will be a big win for him. But Marty refuses, saying barging into the house of God would only cause trouble for him. So Honey turns to MG Faloni, but Faloni isn't at work. Honey then goes to MG's house, which is very close to the bus stop. She steps inside and finds only MG's parrot. On the walls are family photos, even pictures from MG's childhood. Just then, MG herself comes up from the basement. Honey tells her that her niece Karen is missing and asks if she can help in any way. But as Honey looks around, she notices 2 teacups on the table. On one of them, there's a clear lipstick mark. Karen's. That's when the shocking truth comes out. Mia's killer was none other than MG herself. She despised people who lived with a victim mentality. That's why she had kidnapped Karen too, because Karen had let her boyfriend hit her and continued to play the victim. MG had even killed her own father in this very place. MG suddenly stabs Honey. In desperation, Honey fights back, grabbing a boiling kettle and throwing it at her. Half of MG's face burns badly. MG then reaches for her police belt to pull out her gun, but Honey gets to it first. She shoots MG dead. Honey starts calling out for Karen, but from her stab wound, she collapses unconscious. The next thing she knows, she wakes up in an ambulance. Karen has been rescued as well. A few days later, the truth is revealed. Besides Mia and her own father, MG had murdered 2 more girls. And in the final moments of the story, we see Honey walking down the road. She playfully flirts with Cher. And with that, our story comes to an end. And that's how our story ends. What did you think about the ending? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next breakdown.